Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins made headlines this morning with the announcement of a familiar face. Returning to South Florida, defensive tackle Ben Still has officially signed with the team. This move brings full circle a journey that began back in 2022 when Stiller first entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent, initially picked up by the Dolphins themselves. Now, heading into what will be his third season in the league, Stiller rejoins Miami to add depth and experience to a defensive line that's gearing up for a high-impact year. His addition comes as a direct roster replacement for veteran left tackle Terron Armstead, who was recently placed on the retired list. While Armstead leaves behind big shoes on the offensive side of the ball, the Dolphins are clearly looking to fortify the other side of the trenches with hungry, experienced talent. And Stiller? He brings exactly that blend of grit, persistence, and blue-collar work ethic that Miami's defense thrives on. Stiller's football journey has been anything but linear. It's been a grind, a hustle, a tale of perseverance and patience. Before ever putting on a professional jersey, Stiller was a rock for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, playing 5 full seasons and appearing in a staggering 53 games. During his college career, he tallied an impressive 149 tackles, 31 tackles for loss, and 14.5 sacks, numbers that speak to both durability and disruptive potential. He wasn't flashy, but he was consistent, which made him a favorite among coaches and a quietly effective force on the line. Though he didn't hear his name called during the 2022 NFL Draft, Still didn't flinch. He signed with the Dolphins as a free agent, ready to prove he belonged at the highest level of the game. His college tape suggested a guy who could do just that. A lunch pail defender willing to do the dirty work in the trenches. His rookie year in Miami didn't offer much fanfare, but it was a vital learning experience. Most of his time was spent on the practice squad, sharpening his skills against NFL caliber talent and absorbing the playbook. He was elevated for one game and got a taste of real game action, a moment that fueled his drive even more. Then, as the season wound down, the Cleveland Browns saw something in him and plucked him from the Dolphins practice squad. It was a vote of confidence for the young tackle, and with the Browns, he saw playing time in 6 games. That stretch represented his first real opportunity to show what he could do on Sundays, and while the stats weren't eye-popping, he held his own. The experience added some valuable tape to his resume and proved that he could hang with the big boys. But as is often the case for players on the bubble, the NFL can be a revolving door. Still was waived by the Browns and didn't stay on. The market long. The Arizona Cardinals picked him up for their practice squad in 2023, and he again worked his way into game day roles, playing in 5 games that season. The same pattern continued into 2024. Still began the year on the Cardinals practice squad, but was soon signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With Tampa, he saw the field in 3 more contests before being waived once again. Arizona came calling one more time, bringing him back to their practice squad in a move that made it clear. Wherever he's gone, teams have found value in his services. His ability to quickly learn systems and contribute rotationally has made him a go-to option when depth is needed. Last month, Arizona parted ways with Stiller, and once again, opportunity knocked. This time, it was Miami answering the call, bringing the defensive tackle back to the team where it all started. It's a move that feels poetic, like a player returning to finish unfinished business. The Dolphins clearly saw something they liked the first time around, and after watching Still develop across multiple systems and gather meaningful experience, they've decided it's time for round 2. With the defensive line currently undergoing some restructuring, his familiarity with the organization could offer a crucial edge in training camp and preseason competition. While nothing is guaranteed, his story so far suggests he's more than capable of making the most out of another shot in aqua and orange. Statistically, Stiller's NFL career so far includes 17 total tackles, 3 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks across his limited but valuable appearances. Those aren't staggering numbers, but given the inconsistent playing time and the amount of bouncing around he's endured, they're respectable. More importantly, they represent a player who hasn't lost faith in the grind. The league is full of first-rounders and five-star talents, but it also has its share of warriors who refuse to quit, and still fits that mold to a T. He brings an underdog spirit to a Dolphins squad looking to sharpen its defensive identity. In today's NFL, where injuries and rotation are constant, having a player like Steele who can step in and deliver a solid performance is a quiet luxury. Steele joins a crowded but exciting defensive line room in Miami. He'll be competing alongside names like Benito Jones, Matt Dickerson, and veteran Zach Sealer, all of whom bring their own skill sets to the table. Then there are the rookies, Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, and Zeke Biggers, each with potential, but also with the learning curve that comes with entering the pros. Add undrafted free agent Alex Huntley and waiver pickup Matthew Butler to the mix, and you've got a front loaded with competition, youth, and upside. For Steele, that means nothing is promised. But if the past few years have shown us anything, it's that he embraces the fight. He's been clawing for every inch of opportunity since day one. And now he's back on the team that gave him his first chance. What makes this story even more compelling is the full circle nature of the signing. From being an undrafted long shot to now rejoining the Dolphins after 2 whirlwind seasons around the league, it's like a game of NFL hopscotch. He's moved between teams, practice squads, and game day rosters with the kind of determination that only a select few possess. Not every player makes headlines, but every roster needs guys like Steele. Glue guys, fighters, players who keep the engine running. His return is not just a footnote, it's a reminder that every team's depth chart has its own pulse, its own heartbeat, and still is part of that lifeblood now in Miami. For head coach Mike McDaniel and defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver still offers an intriguing mix of familiarity and growth. They know what they're getting, a player who understands the locker room culture, who knows how to absorb a playbook quickly, and who's seen just enough NFL action to be ready when his number's called. He may not be leading any highlight reels, but in the trenches, you don't need flash. You need reliability. And with Armstead's retirement freeing up a spot, this is more than just a paperwork move. It's a calculated addition aimed at keeping Miami's defensive front stable and hungry. Don't be surprised if Steele becomes one of those quiet contributors who ends up playing a bigger role than expected once the season kicks off. In a league that's all about next man up, Ben Steele is that next man again. And maybe, just maybe this time around is where he sticks. Miami fans will remember his name from a couple seasons ago. And now they'll get another look at a player who's as relentless as they come. It's not always about being the fastest or the flashiest. Sometimes it's about being the one who refuses to go away. For Steele, this latest chapter in Miami might just be his chance to turn a footnote into a full-page story. And for the Dolphins, bringing him back could be a sneaky smart move that pays dividends when the pads come on. The journey continues back where it all began. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Ladies and gentlemen, today we dive into a story that's absolutely shaking up the NFL world. A rumor so explosive that if true, it could completely alter the landscape of the Miami Dolphins and maybe even the entire AFC East. Reports are swirling that star wide receiver Jalen Waddle has told people close to him that he refuses to play another snap alongside Tyreek Hill. That's right, Waddle, one of the fastest and most dynamic young receivers in the league, allegedly no longer wants anything to do with Hill. But that's not all. Sources are also whispering that Tyreek Hill is widely disliked inside the Dolphins locker room. This, if confirmed, would be one of the most shocking locker room rifts in recent NFL history. So let's unpack everything we know, everything we're hearing, and what this could mean moving forward. Now, let's start with the most immediate reaction. Shock. How could this be possible? From the outside looking in, the Dolphins have one of the most electric wide receiver duos in the league, if not the most electric. Tyreek Hill, known as the Cheetah, is coming off another spectacular season, racking up yardage like it's nothing, and Jalen Waddle has been his lightning-fast counterpart. The two appeared to have great chemistry on the field, celebrating touchdowns together and appearing in media side by side. But as we all know, appearances can be deceiving. Behind closed doors, things might be very different. The NFL is filled with alpha personalities, and sometimes those don't mesh well. especially when two stars are competing for targets, attention, and ultimately legacy. What adds even more intrigue to this situation is that Jalen Waddle allegedly expressed these feelings to multiple teammates and confidants within the organization, saying flat out, "I'm not playing with him again." That's a heavy statement. It suggests this isn't just a minor spat or a misunderstanding. It sounds like a deep-seated issue. The word going around is that Waddle feels Tyreek's presence has overshadowed him, stunted his development, and created a toxic dynamic in the locker room. Some even claim that Waddle believes Hill's off-field behavior, his bravado, and his general approach to the game have made it difficult for other players to connect with him. Is it possible that what looked like a perfect partnership was actually a ticking time bomb all along? Let's talk about Tyreek Hill's alleged reputation within the Dolphins locker room. According to The Buzz, it's not just Waddle who's unhappy. Several unnamed players reportedly share similar sentiments, describing Hill as self-centered and disruptive. Now, I want to be very clear. This is all rumor at this point, but it's a rumor that is gaining traction rapidly. For years, Tyreek has been known as a big personality, someone who brings flair and confidence to every team he's on. But sometimes that can rub people the wrong way. If these reports are true, it could explain why there are cracks showing in what many believe to be a tight-knit Dolphins team. Chemistry is everything in sports, especially football, where trust and unity are essential on every play. One angle that insiders are speculating about is how this tension might have impacted the Dolphins' performance last season. Remember those crucial games where the offense just didn't click, where the timing seemed off, and where Tua Tagovailoa struggled to get both receivers involved effectively. Some analysts are now wondering if these reported personal issues between Waddle and Hill were festering in the background, creating an undercurrent of mistrust or frustration that affected their on-field connection. We've seen it before in the NFL. When teammates aren't on the same page off the field, it can quickly manifest in miscommunication, dropped passes, and even play-calling issues. Now, what could this mean for the Dolphins moving forward? If Jalen Waddle is indeed refusing to play with Tyreek Hill, then Miami's front office has a massive decision on its hands. Do they attempt to mediate the situation and repair the relationship, or does one of these superstars have to go? Considering Hill's contract and recent performance, trading him would be a blockbuster move with serious cap implications. On the other hand, Waddle is younger and represents the long-term future of the franchise. Fans are already speculating on social media about possible trade destinations, with teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, Hill's former team, and even the Baltimore Ravens being thrown into the mix. The possibilities are endless, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Adding another layer of complexity is the Dolphins' current trajectory as a team. They're on the cusp of being true Super Bowl contenders, with a high-powered offense, a solid defense, and one of the brightest young coaches in Mike McDaniel. The last thing they need is a fractured locker room, derailing their momentum. But sometimes, no matter how much success a team is having, interpersonal conflicts can be swept under the rug. We've seen dynasties crumble for less. Could this rumored rift between Waddle and Hill be the beginning of the end for this version of the Dolphins? Or is it just a minor bump in the road that will be resolved behind the scenes? Interestingly, neither Jalen Waddle nor Tyreek Hill has made any public statement addressing these rumors. That silence is deafening. Usually when baseless rumors pop up, players are quick to hop on social media to shut them down. The fact that neither has spoken out is fueling even more speculation. Is it because there's some truth to it? Or are they simply ignoring the noise, focused on their off-season training? Only time will tell. But in the court of public opinion, silence often speaks louder than words. Fans and analysts alike are parsing every social media post, every like and unfollow, looking for clues about where these players stand. Of course, some people are dismissing this as typical off-season gossip, the kind of story that always pops up when there's a lull in NFL action. Every year, we hear rumors about locker room turmoil, and many of them turn out to be nothing more than hot air. But this one feels different. The specific details about Waddle's alleged refusal to play, combined with the growing number of reports about Hill's locker room reputation, make it hard to completely dismiss. Plus, it fits a broader narrative that's been whispered about for a while now, that the Dolphins, despite their talent, have internal tensions that could prevent them from reaching their full potential. In the end, all we can do is watch and wait. Training camp is just around the corner, and if there really is a rift between these two superstars, it will be impossible to hide once practices and media availabilities ramp up. Will we see them embracing on the sideline, putting the rumors to rest? Or will there be awkward distance, confirming what so many are now starting to believe? One thing is for sure, the Miami Dolphins 2025 season just got a whole lot more interesting, and the eyes of the entire NFL world will be glued to how this situation plays out. Stay tuned, folks. This story is far from over. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Finnins up!